Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. So today I am doing a sort of redesign. I'm taking off the previous gel polish design that is on this set and also the bulk of the acrylic because I'm going to be going in with an acrylic design. So obviously we need to get rid of all the acrylic that's already there, file back down to a nice thin layer, and then I'm going to apply some clear and we can go in with a new design. So I was just using the purple willow bit, which is from Willow Academy. It's absolutely brilliant at removing bulk. It's so easy, so quick, so I always use that one for that step. I'm just using the Anastasia bit now to go around the cuticle area, just to push back the cuticles and get any dead skin off the nail plate. This will obviously prevent lifting and then also make it easy for me to be able to nip the excess cuticle because it's pushed it all back and lifted it up, ready for me to do it. So I did that off camera, and then I'm just going in with a sanding band on my mandrel bit, and then I'm just going to rough up the nail surface. And then once we've done that, we can shape the nails, and then I'm going to stick some tips on the 3 that are missing. We've got 2 on this hand, which is the right hand, and then 1 on the other hand. So I'm just going to go in with a new tip on those, and then obviously we can file, like cut them to shape, file and everything, get them all ready, and then we can start with our clear base before our design. I absolutely loved this design. It was from a picture, well, it was a screenshot of a picture that my client sent me. No, it was a screenshot of a video. It was like she'd paused a video on TikTok, I think it was, and then screenshotted it, and then asked me for those. So that's where this design came from. It is slightly different to the video slash like photo that she showed me originally. We did change up the colour slightly because the video was quite like a real pale blue, where we decided to go for quite an out there blue, and we also decided to go for a different type of glitter as well. So we did mix it up a little bit, but it was very similar in design. So I'm just obviously, like I said, shaping these, making sure that they're the right length and everything. They were a little bit too long, so I did go in with my clippers and just cut them down a bit and then reshaped, made sure that they're all how they're supposed to be, and then once I was happy, it can move on. So like I said, we're going to be applying a clear base because next time, obviously I don't know what the client is going to want. So if we've got that clear base down, I can easily just file back to that next time with the purple willow bit again, and then we can go in with whatever we want on top. So she's not going to be stuck with just having an infill of the same thing again and again. And also this clear base will prevent any staining of the nail as well from any coloured powders that we do use in this set. So I'm just doing that on all of the nails first, just to make sure they're all nice and prepped. I didn't really need to do it for the middle nail because it's going to have a core powder at the bottom anyway, but I just did, especially because obviously your clear is your strength powder as well. So I wanted to use that because the tip of this nail was going to be the blue colour. So just thought, I'm doing it with the rest, I might as well do it for the middle. So then once I've done that, we can move on to our design. I am using Arctic. This is the blue. It's called Arctic, and it's from Tia's Beauty. It's this beautiful, it's got ever such a slight shimmer in it, but you can't really see it. But yeah, it's this beautiful colour from Tia's Beauty. It's absolutely stunning. It's one of their coloured acrylic powders. So I'm just placing that about halfway down, and then I'm going all the way down to the bottom. I just wanted to make sure that the tip or the free edge was obviously like got enough colour on it first. I'm working quite thin with this because obviously we've got the clear at the bottom. I'm going to be putting glitter on the top on the right hand side, then we're also going to have to cap in clear, so I don't want to do every layer really thick, else the nails will just end up like an inch thick, and obviously that's not what we want. So I'm just applying this mainly to the left side of the nail, sorry. Obviously there is some to the right, but that was just from the first bead that I've placed. I am just making sure that I've built up the right side now, the left side, sorry, I don't know what is wrong with me today, but the left side, because that is going to be the side that is just the plain blue, and then the right side, as you'll see in a minute, is going to be glitter. The glitters we used were called, I did decide against this, so I took it off. Then I decided to use it again, and then I decided against it again, so I took it off, and then I did end up using it, but I used it on top of a different glitter. So the glitter that I'm going in with here is called, oh gosh, I've gone blank. I actually don't remember off the top of my head, but I will link it. Well, I won't link it in the description. I will put it in the description box. It is from Sparkle Supplies UK. I just can't remember for the life of me what it's called. I might like add a little insert here of the name of it on screen if I remember before I finish editing this video, but at this moment in time I can't think what it's called. So those smaller pieces are the ones I can't remember. The bigger pieces, like the chunkier one, is called Lotus, I think. So I'm going in with that on top just to give it a little bit more I don't know, just a bit something, why not? So this one is literally just going to be like this, like the left half is going to be blue and then the right half is going to be glitter, and that is literally it. I'm just making sure that all the gaps on the right are covered with glitter, and then once I've done that we can move on to the next nail. So the next nail is going to be a French design, and we are going to be using CJP Slush Fairy for this area of the French. So I'm placing a bead down first, making sure that the back is blended into the natural nail so we don't have a big ridge when I come to apply like more beads. And then I'm just blending it out to the side walls as well, patting it, and just keep patting, prodding, just making sure that it's where I want it and the smile is where I need it to be. Making sure that there's a little lip there, so then once it's set and I've applied all of the Slush Fairy area, I can go in with my file and make sure it's nice and smooth before I butt my acrylic up to it for the French itself. So I'm just applying a couple more beads to the, like obviously nearer the cuticle now to build it up. And then once I've done that, I'm going to move on from this nail to let it set. And then once I've finished the hand, we will come back, file it and apply the acrylic to the free edge. This next nail is going to be an ombre nail with Slush Fairy and Arctic. So I'm just applying Arctic about halfway down the nail, and then going to use my brush the other way around just to blend it up to make sure that it blends into the nail so Slush Fairy can blend over it better instead of having a thick harsh line to have to cover. And then I'm just using the belly of my brush to drag the bead down the nail to make sure it's nice and opaque. And then I'm just patting and prodding as usual to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because the smoother your application is, the less messing about you've got to do at the end with filing. So I just keep patting, pulling, making sure it's where I want it and everywhere is nice and opaque. And then once I've done that, we can move on to applying Slush Fairy to the cuticle area and blending it over the blue. This blue really is beautiful, I absolutely love it. Perfect for these sorts of wintry nail sets. And I'm just going to apply a bead of Slush Fairy just over where the blend is, and then I will go further down to the cuticle area with a slightly larger bead, getting it exactly where I want it, making sure that I don't get it on the skin, and if I do, just wiping it off real quick, swiping it away with my tip of my brush before it has chance to set on the skin. And again, I'm just patting and prodding, making sure everything is where I want it. I don't know why I keep saying prodding, I'm not prodding it at all. But yeah, I'm just making sure it's everywhere that I want it. And I did want a little bit more like of the glittery side of it on the free edge, so I did just pop a little bit more down, but then I ended up putting a bit too much, so I scraped a bit off. But then once I was happy with the blend, we can move on to the next nail. This nail is going to have snowflakes on at the end, but for now I'm just leaving it because we're going to stamp those snowflakes on. So I'm just applying some clear over the top to protect that blend and also protect the blue, because I don't want to file that off when it comes to filing at the end. So I'm just popping some clear down like a little sandwich, make sure it's nice and just protected really, and that's obviously my strength as well. So you want to make sure that the clear is thick enough to keep the nail nice and strong and create its structure. This nail is going to be done all with Arctic at first, so we're just going to apply that over the whole nail to make sure it's all nice and full coverage Arctic. And then we're going to go in with the 2 glitters and apply them in a sort of swirl shape from the top right to the bottom left. Just to have a little bit of glitter going through, but this blue is just stunning, so I'm really glad that we did like an almost full nail of it, because it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And once we've done that, again, I'm going in with the glitter just down the middle, but in a diagonal way. And then the thumb is going to be a full nail of glitter, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let you watch this nail and the nail that is next, because obviously the thumb is pretty easy, and then we can come back for filing. So I totally forgot about the ring finger. So obviously we need to do that before we go in with a file. So I'm just applying a really, really small amount of Arctic over the whole free edge. And I'm just making sure that I've got that all there, so that if there's any gaps in my glitter, it's not going to be too much of a big deal, because there is blue underneath, so it's not going to look a bit random with some holes in that's got nothing under. So then I'm just picking up the first glitter, and then I'm popping that all over the free edge, and then I will get some of the chunkier pieces out of Lotus here and just place them on top. I do just make sure, obviously, as you can see down the side wall, there's not really a lot of glitter there. So I do just tilt the finger to the side, both sides, and just apply a little bit more glitter down there to make sure it's nice and glittery, basically. You don't want any bits missing. Obviously, there is the blue under there, so it doesn't matter if there's some gaps here and there, because the blue will be seen, so it'll just blend in. Once I've done all that, I'm then going to go in with a sanding band on my mandrel again, and I'm just going to file all the nails. Obviously, like I said, the more effort you put into your application, the less messing about you've got to do at the end with filing. So filing doesn't really take very long. I'm just basically making sure they're all nice and smooth and the structure is how I want them. and then I'll be able to file with my hand file just to get the shape back again. And then all we need to do is top coat, which is obviously the fun part. I did apply some stamping, and like I said, we did a snowflake on the ring finger and then 2 snowflakes on the middle, and then we put some stones in the middle. So the gems that we used were from Sparkle Supplies UK, and they're the really small tiny silver ones. They were perfect for the middle of a snowflake. So I'm just filing shape here. Obviously they're pretty much in shape, we just want to make sure that the acrylic hasn't bulked out the sides and everything, so we're just getting them back to how we want them. Once I've done that, we're going to stamp on some snowflakes, like I said, and then we're going to top coat. So I did the other stamping off camera because, to be honest, I forgot to stamp this hand on camera, so I just showed you one on the other hand while I remembered. And then we used a bit of builder gel, just a dot of it in between every snowflake, in the middle of every snowflake, and then obviously popped on our gems and cured that. And then once we've done that, we can go in here with top coat over every nail. The middle finger is matte top coat. I used velvet top coat from Gel Perfection. Just making sure that when I did get some top coat over the top of all the gems, but I did wipe it off before it went in the lamp to make sure that we didn't dull them. So I did remove it from the gems, but everywhere else obviously was top coated. And that's it for this set. The top coat really brings the set to life. They're absolutely beautiful. We're both really happy with how they turned out. My client loved them as much as I did. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll be back soon with another one. Bye!